What has been like your own process of unlearning, relearning? What has that looked like for you? You can share as much or as little as you want. I'm just
Yeah.
like, what does it look like? And I wonder if you could be an example of what it could look like by sharing.
I think a big example that has been really significant, I think, in my life is just my relationship with food and my relationship with exercise. And that has been a struggle since I was a kid. And I would chronic binge eater and a chronic dieter. I got to a point in my life where it was just, I'm not only hurting, I feel like something in my spirit was just, I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. And I recognized how it was also impacting my romantic relationship. And I was like, I want to shift this a little bit. And I
Mm.
sought out therapy. It was so funny. I was in Sedona. My wife took me on a trip. I've never been to Sedona before. I was at Sedona and me and her are sitting on the couch and we're watching how Stella got her groove back. My wife's crying and I'm over here having this existential like crisis going on. Like, I gotta change my life. Whatever. And so I reached out to a therapist that specializes in disordered eating and things of that nature. And so during that process, it was a lot of me learning about how diet culture has been impacting me. And the thing about it is, I've heard this before. I've heard this years ago before I was ready and willing to be more open to what I was ready to receive. And so I heard it and I was just kind of like, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good for those folks. But over here, I'm good.
Mm.
And then fast forward, I realized, wow, what I'm learning, I'm like that stuff that people were saying, I didn't realize how much I was hurting other people. I didn't realize how me commenting on somebody else's weight was impacting somebody. Or, oh yeah, hey girl, who you lost weight? Oh,
Mm.
fierce,
Mm.
fire, period. And recognizing,
Yeah.
dang, like I could have been like endorsing an eating disorder. I could have been endorsing a medical condition that they didn't share with me why this was happening. And then I had to take inventory for myself and was just kind of like, this has also been hurting me. And then I started to do a little bit more kind of with the guidance of my therapist and also just me doing my own kind of like learning is how far deep does this whole diet culture stuff go? And then realizing like this is really connected to white supremacy. I didn't know that. I didn't know that these different rules that we have today that we have marketed
Mm. Mm.
and that has gone way before. It's so many beautiful examples of that. And so I'm learning it. And I was like, yo, like I drank the juice too, but that's what marketing works. That's how marketing operates. That's how capitalism operates. That's how white
Yep.
supremacy operates. And so I was just kind of like, okay, I'm learning it, but therapist, how am I supposed to apply this? Like,
Thanks for the information.
thank you for the
Got it.
information. And so I'm like, okay, like the unlearning aspect of it too. I really had to sit and think about some of the rules and assumptions that I had and really had to look at my own like anti-fatness and had to look at my own bias, which was very hurtful for myself because I'm thinking about family members, thinking about community, thinking about the judgments that I've had on other people, other bodies, things of how I look at them is how I look at myself. Starting there, that hurt like big time. That was really hard. And so what happened was with the learning how to put all of my kind of my belief systems on inside of the ring and assumptions and different rules that I had. In the midst of all of that, I really started to get confused. I think that's also in the ring as well. It's like confusion. It's I got next by like certain things and I'm confused. And an example, I think of that confusion of, okay, if I'm going to adopt this new lens, so does that mean I can't go on a diet anymore? Does that mean I can't do this anymore? Really? What's the rules here? Like, what am I allowed to do? What am I not allowed to do? What happens? And it was
I'm sorry. This is just, I'm like, "I get everything you're saying." Okay, keep going. So
It was just met with that, which was so frustrating. It was so frustrating. I had to really just sit with that a little bit. And I remember my therapist kind of teaching me some different tools and things of that nature, as well as what I'm also learning and recognizing that this is a part of the process. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not a bad person for still to feel this way. And I thought about when I get to the process of relearning certain things, applying certain tools that I've utilized, that I have been learning, recognizing, I think shared before, like it's a grieving process. There was a
yeah,
lot of things that I really felt like was so hard to give up, where giving up my scale, for instance, that was so hard to do. I'm coming into tears. It was so hard to give up
yep,
my scale. I was on it all the time. That scale was like my sister in a way. You know what I mean? It informed me of my worth. It informed me of like my value. And that has been I embodied that so strongly for so many years. And even though it was hurting me, I was just kind of like, this is hard. And throwing that away was huge for me. And it took a minute, again, feeling that embodiment, like even just holding it in my hand. I took it in and out of the trash can, I don't know how many times.
mm, mhm,
So many times. And so recognizing again, that's the process. Okay, I'm gonna give this up. Okay, no, I'm not ready. Oh, okay, this is the day. This is the day. Okay, no. Right?
mm,
And because there's a grieving process that happens, like I had said, or the grieving the idea of, okay, if I don't go on a diet anymore, then I'm not gonna, and then I don't lose weight, then I'm losing, I might lose community. I might lose kind of social interactions, or
mm,
social engagements in conversation. I'm gonna lose out on compliments because people tend to compliment folks only when they're in smaller bodies. That was a huge I'm like, gosh, I'm gonna that I kinda like that, you know? That's hard. I am wearing this,
yeah,
ain't I?
yes,
And then I think it goes too with that particular battle of how difficult the process is. And then I had to accept, or I would say be open to, again, what was receiving, because there was so much evidence throughout the midst of that. There was so much evidence of how this new idea, this new perspective is working. I feel so much better. The thing about it is, my conversations with my friends are better. My conversations with my wife is better. Just being open to this new perspective, me being able to advocate for myself and other bodies, being, again, even as a yoga teacher too, that might be a whole nother thing too, because in that space is very thin bodied and not
yeah,
accessible to all bodies, and how the media perceives yoga, which stops BIPOC folks or other bodies getting into that space. And I think we need it more now than ever, the sense of wellness. And the thing about it is, because all the things I said, white supremacy and diet culture, capital, it's all around me, and that ain't gonna stop. It is here. And I have it's here
yeah,
as far as like not stopping, in a sense of there are some things that it's ongoing. So therefore my process of relearning and unlearning is ongoing. You know what I mean?
mhm,
I do have a good hold of it. Like you had mentioned before, I just stopped wrestling with certain stuff and kind of was able to settle in. I can really resonate with people will perceive me as, you got it together. Like, oh, Krystal, you can have bread now. Oh, you can have cereal now and not be afraid of it because of this particular process. It seems easy, but not understanding like the role behind it. It's just because I settled in it. I
mhm,
really went through the depth of it all, and still giving myself some grace and some openness that this is going to be an ongoing process. But damn, like I feel so much better, so much lighter mentally, physically, spiritually. And I think that other people can feel that. And I love that version of myself. suffer the version I was trying to chase or hold on to so tightly back in the day.
Oh my goodness. I was like